On March 22nd, HCC and the United Nations celebrated World Water Day at the Stafford campus.
So the World Water Day, the theme of it this year was water and sustainable development. The Global Risk report listed a lot of things besides water that have to do with sustainable development. Everything from agriculture to infrastructures to health to population. Those are the things we focused on for our group project besides water. So what are some of the issues for developed countries, for underdeveloped countries with all these global risks from the report? And what are some of the solutions to each of them? So this project kind of caused us to explore what are the challenges that different nations face today and how can we address those. The one I did the research for, so the topic that was mine was population. So I talked about the population density in different countries and some of the challenges that have to do with, from the risk report, what are the risks associated with population growth? There were unemployment and an increasingly aging population in many countries around the world. With more people in the world, of course, we need more water. So that's really where population affects all of the other risks. We need to plan to have sustainable development for the water security. We need to plan to have enough water for all the people that we're expected to have by the year 2030, by the year 2050.
Over 14 speakers, including HCC students, council generals, scientists, and professors met to discuss these issues.
I felt like it was an underlying theme for a lot of them. They all talked about how we have to work together to solve these problems. The Coast Guard talked about how local and state and national governments all have to work together with private companies and volunteers to address these natural disasters. I mean, we had researched them and we talked about what some global organizations are doing to address these risks in sustainable development. I learned about the glass water bottle. That was really interesting for me to see that glass can be reused so many more times than plastic can. Plastic has an end date. At some point you have to stop recycling it, even if you keep recycling it. But glass, you can keep reusing that, and that's much better for the world.
Al Green emphasized education in our communities and our Congress's need to move towards solar energy to power our cars, our homes, and our lives.
Well, what we have to do is first educate people to help people understand how important it is to conserve water and to conserve energy. We must also help our country move from fossil fuels to a more sustainable, long-lasting, cleaner form of energy, which is obviously solar energy. And to do that, we have to make it attractive. We have to make it attractive by making it something that we can afford. Either the price of fossils will have to go up at some point such that the others become attractive, or there will have to be some way of subsidizing them. I think that we can help to fund universities like HCC so that HCC will be in a better position to not only educate students here, but to take that message to the various communities.
California's ongoing drought is testing our trend of running against the limits of nature.
When you have these type of big events, what's going to happen? They're going to ask for volunteers. So you got to pay attention on, in the press, newspapers, internet, and be ready to sign up if you want to help out. On a regular basis, what you can do is, joining these volunteer groups out there. I mean, you got the Galveston Bay Foundation and many other type of groups out there you can join. One thing we have is Central Texas Coastal Area Committee, which is a committee that meets between government, state, locals, and private entities, and anybody can go to it and attend, and there's a lot of subjects being discussed and talked about. They got a volunteer subcommittee in there, and people can join and be part of that, so when something big happens, they all train up and they can be part of it.
The United Nations works towards helping the 748 million people who still do not have clean water to drink.
Millennium Development Goals back in 2000 to start increasing the percentages of people with access to safe drinking water and access to basic sanitation. And more of those conditions, the water conditions are improved, the more poverty gets alleviated as a practical matter. The main organ of the UN that focuses on that is the United Nations Development Program. They are the ones primarily who provide both the funding and education for different types of water projects around the world, some of which I discussed, like solar energy to generate water in Guatemala, this gravity system they have in Tanzania, all sorts of places. What we do, for example, as a chapter, UNA chapter, is we pick a project every year to sponsor. We raise money for that particular project, and the profits are donated to that particular project. It's very special and has a very key impact on people.
Water is our world. Get educated. For more information, visit unwater.org or worldwaterday.org and ctac.us. For HCC Beat, I'm Paula Zapata.